Have you ever come across someone who effortlessly grabs your attention? Not because they speak loudly, try to impress, or want to be the center of attention, but because they have a strong, natural presence. It's something hard to explain, but impossible to ignore. This is true silent attraction. It's not about perfect looks or rehearsed gestures, but about how the person behaves, treats others, and feels good about themselves. It's not about drawing attention, but inspiring respect without having to demand it. And the best part, you don't need to be someone else to develop this. It's not about following standards or forced rules, but about connecting with your best self and building habits that, without you even noticing, make your presence felt. In this video, I'll show you 10 habits that help anyone develop a strong and remarkable presence without needing to fake anything. These are timeless principles rooted in Stoic philosophy that strengthen your emotional intelligence, confidence, and the way others perceive you. But more importantly, they change the way you see yourself. In the end, you'll realize that true confidence isn't something you chase, beg for, or force. It's built from within. And when that happens, you don't need to shout to be heard because your presence already says it all. Let's get started. Habit 1. Foster your independence. Imagine waking up with an energy that comes from within, a strength that doesn't rely on the opinions or approval of others to exist. This is the essence of true independence, living according to your values and following your truth, without needing anyone to validate it. Being independent doesn't mean distancing yourself or being arrogant. It's about having confidence in yourself and valuing who you are. When you recognize your worth, your presence speaks for itself, exuding strength and authenticity naturally. Today, many people seek recognition on social media, measuring their worth by likes and compliments. But when you choose to follow your own path and understand that your value comes from within, you stand out amidst the superficiality. This freedom doesn't happen overnight. It takes courage to believe in yourself, even when others doubt you. It means making choices that might not please everyone, but that makes sense to you. To practice this authenticity, take moments to reconnect with yourself, whether it's through a solo walk, a few minutes of silence to gather your thoughts, or waking up a little earlier to reflect. These moments are crucial to recharge your energy and strengthen your self-esteem. When you realize that everything you need, love, safety, and acceptance, is already inside of you, your relationship with the world changes. Your posture becomes more relaxed, your gestures firmer, and your personality more solid. This attracts relationships based on true respect and admiration, without needing empty validations. Ask yourself, am I living for myself or trying to please others? Make choices that reflect who you really are, value yourself, and take care of yourself. This way, your authenticity will naturally attract recognition and admiration from those around you, guiding you towards a full and genuine life. Habit 2. Cultivate silent elegance. The loudest voice doesn't always make the biggest impact. True presence asserts itself without needing many words. Silent elegance is not about being noticed, but about being respected for what you project. It's in how you act, not what you say. Imagine a work meeting. You enter the room and without saying a word, people notice your presence. Not because you tried to stand out, but because your posture exudes confidence. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. Your energy does that for you. This is silent elegance. People recognize that you know what you're doing and trust you, without you needing to assert it all the time. This presence comes from the little details: how you carry yourself, your gaze, the way you walk, and the calm you maintain in difficult situations. For instance, picture a tense moment. While most people lose their patience, you choose to stay calm, listen, and respond steadily. Your ability to remain unaffected by the chaos around you sends a sense of security that few possess. This self-control is a clear sign of strength. Confidence doesn't come from the tone of your voice, but from how you carry yourself. Think about a crowded event. The person who truly stands out isn't the loudest, but the one who stays calm and poised. They don't need to show off because their tranquility and confidence speak for themselves. This is what truly grabs people's attention in a respectful way. Elegance is also in how you treat others. Imagine you're in a line and notice someone in a hurry or irritated. Instead of reacting with impatience, you smile and say something kind. Small gestures like this make a bigger difference than many words. In a world where everyone wants to speak louder, those who know how to stay quiet and act with purpose end up standing out. For example, in a heated argument, you can simply choose not to react right away. Staying calm doesn't mean being weak, but choosing the best response without rushing. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood this very well. He said, "The more a man has a calm mind, the stronger he becomes." When you learn to maintain inner peace, people begin to trust you in a different way. You don't need to prove anything. Your calmness and balance already show who you are. Look at your daily routine. Are you always rushing or feeling tense? Do you react impulsively without thinking properly? If so, try slowing down. Instead of rushing from one task to another, take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. When offering an opinion, for example, count to 5 before speaking. This pause helps you think better and avoid unnecessary comments. These small changes create an energy of calmness and security that others notice, even if they don't fully understand why. Being elegant isn't about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes, but about trying to be your best self, dressing well, speaking clearly, and facing challenges without losing composure. This makes your presence strong, not from effort, but from your naturalness and authenticity. Over time, people will associate you with qualities like confidence and respect, even if they don't know exactly why. They'll feel the difference, and that's what makes silent elegance so striking. It's not about making noise, but about the impact of a firm and calm presence. Habit 3. Be fully present. Imagine this scenario. You're talking to someone, but they're glued to their phone and barely paying attention to what you're saying. You've probably experienced this frustration, feeling like your words don't matter. Now think of the opposite. Someone who looks you in the eye, listens attentively, and lets the conversation flow naturally. The feeling is different, right? You feel valued and understood. That's being present. Being present means truly dedicating yourself to the moment. It's resisting the urge to check your phone every time it buzzes or to think about your response while the other person is still talking. When you give yourself to the now, your presence becomes stronger. You're not just physically there, but fully engaged. The Stoics talked a lot about this. Marcus Aurelius said, "Focus on the present." For them, living in the now was the secret to having more peace and avoiding getting stuck in the past or worrying about the future. When you learn to be present, you gain more control over your thoughts and emotions. This brings more balance to your life and makes you admired for genuinely engaging with people in what you do. Being present isn't just about listening, but also about observing without haste, without judgment, and noticing the small details in a conversation, like the tone of voice or facial expressions. This level of attention improves your emotional intelligence, as it helps you understand the feelings behind the words. Try practicing this in everyday interactions, in a conversation with a friend, during a meal, or even on your way to work. When you start paying more attention, you'll notice something powerful. Your presence radiates calmness, security, and respect. People will feel that you're truly there with them, creating more genuine and meaningful connections. And the best part, this doesn't require forced effort. Over time, your presence will begin to inspire trust, and that trust creates a genuine, lasting attraction. In a world where attention is constantly being fought for, those who can truly connect with others stand out. The person who listens without rushing, observes without judging, and values the moment without needing to say anything becomes unforgettable. Deep down, few things are as attractive as feeling that someone truly sees and values us in the present moment. Habit 4. The power of mystery. People are drawn to what they don't fully understand. Imagine you're in a work meeting. Someone you barely know starts telling you everything about their life, every detail, opinion, and even personal matters. At first it may seem interesting, but over time they become predictable, and it loses its charm. Now think of another person in the same meeting. They say just enough to be heard, but don't reveal everything they think or feel. This person shares only what's necessary, leaving an air of mystery. People become curious and want to know more, like they're opening a page of an intriguing book. When you spill everything at once, there's nothing left to discover. Keeping a little mystery shows how naturally curious we are about what's out of our reach. It's the same trick used in movie campaigns. They show a bit and create the desire to see more. But remember, the secret isn't about pretending or wearing a mask, but about being careful with what you reveal. For instance, imagine you're at a party, and instead of sharing every detail of your life, you listen to others and speak thoughtfully and carefully. This reserve makes people more intrigued by you, as if there's always something new to discover. The key is not to open up completely right away, but to let others come closer and uncover more, without forcing anything. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "Stay silent or say something better than silence." Often, what you choose not to say has a bigger impact than the words you do speak. Beyond words, mystery also lies in actions. Imagine making an important change in your life and, instead of explaining every step, you simply act. This attitude shows confidence and certainty, leaving people in awe of your determination. In a world where everyone is willing to share everything, be the person who leaves a chapter unread. By being a bit more reserved, you create an aura of mystery that keeps people's interest, even after the interaction. Habit 5. Cultivate cultural wisdom. Developing cultural wisdom doesn't mean knowing about many countries or speaking multiple languages. It's about learning to look beyond the surface, understanding people, stories, and traditions different from your own. When you listen attentively, respect other viewpoints, and show interest in how others think, your presence naturally earns respect. The value of a conversation isn't in imposing your opinion, but in enriching the dialogue with reflections based on a deeper understanding. The Stoics had this wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, for example, always reminded us to look beyond appearances, not to be fooled by what things seem to be. He said, "Look beyond the surface, don't be deceived by appearances." Cultural wisdom is exactly that ability to perceive what's behind the obvious, to understand the invisible layers that make each person unique and every situation deeper. Instead of reacting just to what you immediately see, you learn to understand what's beneath, what's real, and what's truly important. This ability to adapt and understand others allows you to move through different social groups without needing to change who you are or force a presence. It's not about being the loudest or the one leading every conversation, but knowing when to speak and, perhaps more importantly, knowing when to listen. You become socially intelligent because people notice that you have something valuable to offer and feel that you truly listen to them. To start developing this cultural wisdom, expand your horizons and step out of your comfort zone. Read books that challenge your ideas and make you think differently. Try new foods. Talk to people whose realities differ from yours. And, if possible, travel to experience new cultures. And above all, practice truly listening. If someone shares an opinion you disagree with, avoid responding right away. Instead, ask. Ask what the person thinks and what led them to that viewpoint. This simple act shows that you genuinely want to understand and not just rebut. True wisdom isn't about speaking louder, but speaking with purpose. It's not about trying to impress or always being right, but about respecting the complexity of others' experiences. It's not about impressing or always being correct, but about respecting different life experiences. By doing so, you become a more interesting person whose presence truly makes a difference. Remember, cultural wisdom isn't something you flaunt. It appears in the little things you do every day, in the conversations, in the questions you ask, in your attentive gaze, and in your genuine interest in the stories of others. Habit 6. The power of compassion. Many people try to impress with big words or exaggerated gestures, but true strength lies in knowing how to truly listen, care without expecting anything in return, and be kind without holding back. When someone shares something personal, the way you listen makes all the difference. Imagine a friend going through a tough time. Instead of interrupting with quick advice, you listen calmly, simply being there. Often, what they need isn't an immediate solution, but someone who makes them feel understood. People connect with those who make them feel important. It's not about solving all the problems or giving ready answers, but about creating a safe space where they can just be themselves. Think, for example, of a leader who receives feedback and, instead of just listening, asks questions that show real interest. This kind of leadership makes the work environment more human and strengthens team relationships. The Stoics, often seen as distant or unemotional, viewed empathy as an inner strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be patient with others and demanding with yourself." This is an important lesson. Compassion doesn't mean being naive or letting others take advantage of your kindness. It means being able to understand others without losing your balance. It's a middle ground between being kind and setting boundaries to avoid burning out, both for yourself and for those who ask for help. An example of this is how you react to a friend who constantly asks for help but never tries to change their own habits. It's important to offer support, but also know when to set limits. You can be available without overwhelming yourself. The first step to developing this magnetic presence is learning to listen, not to provide an answer, but to understand. When someone shares something personal, resist the urge to give quick advice. Sometimes all the person needs is to feel heard. Imagine a coworker with personal problems. Instead of saying, "Don't worry, everything will be fine," ask, Do you want to talk about it? Let them open up without rushing to find a solution. Simply listening can make someone's day better. Compassion is also having patience with others and with yourself. No one is perfect, and life has its challenges. In tough times, those who stay calm and supportive become unforgettable. Ask yourself, am I someone who makes others feel important? If the answer isn't always yes, don't worry. Compassion is a habit that's learned and nurtured, and it all starts with being kind to yourself. When you take care of your own emotional energy and practice patience with yourself, it shows in how you treat others. Your attitude goes beyond words. It makes people feel valued, understood, and safe. Be someone who listens more than they speak, who is kind without expecting anything in return, and who remains calm in tough times. True presence isn't in noise, but in the silent, genuine, and transformative impact of compassion. Habit 7. The energy of laughter and joy. Few things have as natural a power as the presence of someone who is truly joyful. It's not about forced optimism or trying to be the funniest person in the room, but about an inner lightness that makes life easier, even on tough days. Those who radiate this simple joy don't need big gestures to capture attention. Laughter works as a bridge. It breaks down barriers, relieves tension, and brings people together effortlessly. In a world where everyone has their own struggles, being around someone who can smile at life, and not in a sarcastic way, even when facing problems, is refreshing. This attitude doesn't ignore challenges, but shows a lighter way to face them. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think of the friendships that have shaped your life. Often they start with good laughs. Humor builds trust because laughing together means you can be yourself, without fear of judgment. This genuine connection makes the environment more pleasant and draws people closer. But it's important to remember that true joy isn't about telling jokes all the time or being the center of attention. Forcing laughter can push people away. Real lightness comes from finding humor in the little things, like laughing at a silly mistake, instead of getting frustrated. This attitude creates a relaxed environment where everyone feels comfortable with their flaws. To nurture this joy, value the small moments of the day. Allow yourself to enjoy those moments that naturally bring a smile. Share a light joke with someone and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. This personal acceptance reflects in your relationships, creating positive energy around you. Being around people who lift your spirits is also essential. Seek out those who show that life doesn't have to be a constant struggle or eternal suffering. By making laughter a habit, you contribute to a lighter environment where people feel good. Imagine a tense meeting being transformed by a simple joke. It changes everything, easing the atmosphere and bringing people closer. In the end, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Bring humor and joy wherever you go, and allow your positive energy to brighten the space. True and calm presence speaks louder than words and naturally attracts people. Habit 8. The art of taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself holds a special power. It's not about vanity or trying to impress others, but about respecting yourself. This care doesn't have to be excessive. It starts with simple daily choices: eating healthy, taking a nice walk at the end of the day, and getting good sleep at night. When you take care of your body, mind, and heart, you radiate a calm and balanced energy. It's not about having a perfect body or following impossible beauty standards, but about feeling good in your own skin, and that naturally attracts others. Imagine you have a friend who always ignores their health. They work too much, eat poorly, and never find time to relax. Over time, this lack of care starts to show, whether in stress or fatigue. Now think about another friend who, despite a busy routine, makes it a point to take care of themselves. They exercise, eat well, and make time to rest. They may not talk about it all the time, but their calm and confidence are obvious. Taking care of yourself goes beyond the body. Caring for the mind and soul is also important. It can be as simple as setting aside 10 minutes to meditate or allowing yourself to rest when needed. These small moments of pause help clear the mind and calm emotions, creating a sense of peace that, in the rush of everyday life, becomes contagious. If you look at yourself in the mirror and feel that you haven't been taking care of yourself as you'd like, start now. Choose one thing you can do for yourself, whether it's sleeping better, eating more mindfully, or learning to relax. Taking care of yourself is a habit, and over time it not only changes how you feel, but also how others see you. True attractiveness comes from feeling good on the inside, and that shows in the way you live. It's not about seeking attention. but about living in a way that naturally draws others to you through the peace and balance you radiate. Those who care for themselves don't need to shout for attention. Their presence speaks for itself. Take care of yourself, not because someone is watching, but because you deserve it. This way, effortlessly, your presence becomes naturally strong, calm, and impossible to ignore. Habit 9. Emotional intelligence and social awareness. People with emotional intelligence don't act impulsively. Instead of escalating a conflict, they observe the situation and choose carefully how to respond. Imagine that your mind is like a steering wheel. If you drive calmly, you avoid accidents and maintain control, even on tough roads. For example, think about a tense work environment where arguments happen every day. Those with this skill sense the heavy atmosphere and, instead of trying to fix everything right away, offer a word of calm or a constructive suggestion. It's like in a game of dominoes when you decide to wait for the right moment to make your move, avoiding knocking all the pieces down at once. This attitude helps relieve pressure and makes the environment more respectful. It's not about drawing attention but staying calm amid the chaos, something that earns respect and attracts people. The most important thing is that people remember more how they felt around you than what you said. When you practice emotional intelligence, you create a space where others feel acknowledged and understood. Think of that friend who, without saying much, is always there for you when you need support, like a warm cup of coffee on a cold day. This presence, which doesn't try to fix problems, offers a true sense of comfort. Social awareness works through your ability to pick up on subtle cues in your environment. Sometimes it's about knowing when to give someone space or change the subject to ease a tense situation. Imagine a family gathering where you notice a particular topic is making everyone uncomfortable. Instead of insisting, you gently shift the conversation, like opening a window to let in fresh air. This helps create a lighter atmosphere, even without many words. Social awareness is basically knowing when to act and, often, when simply being present is enough. The Stoics highly valued this skill because they believed that those who understand themselves better can understand others more effectively. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more than we speak." By listening attentively, we not only gather information but also pick up on emotions and contexts, building deeper, more sincere connections. Being emotionally intelligent doesn't mean hiding your feelings or ignoring what you feel. It means knowing how to respond and not react impulsively. It's like adjusting your mind's thermostat to keep the temperature comfortable, even when the surroundings are on fire. By understanding your feelings and how they affect your actions, you can stay calm and act more consciously in stressful moments. This allows you to think before you act, without letting emotions take over. Social awareness is also tied to the energy you give off. When you enter a space, ask yourself, do you help create a calm environment or add to the tension? In a family argument, for example, are you the one who helps cool things down or the one who makes it worse? Just like in a soccer team, each player has a role. When you have control over your emotions and build a strong presence, your influence is like that of a good captain who, by setting an example, makes the whole team perform better. In the end, taking care of emotional intelligence and social awareness is like tending to a garden. If you water it with care, remove the unwanted plants, and respect each flower, your garden will grow well, and everyone will want to spend time there. Take care of yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Take time to learn, spend time with yourself, and commit to getting to know yourself. Maybe you haven't had the chance before or didn't learn how to do this, but now you have a new opportunity to do things differently, because when you learn to love yourself, you can offer the same true love to others and make the world a better place. If you've made it this far, comment "Always Evolving." Subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Thanks for watching.